Hello everyone. So today in this video what we are going to cover is with regards to the section of fractions. So I have two past papers open, 2023 and 2019, and we're going to discuss each of these questions. So usually fractions is in the grade 10 book. When it comes to fractions, it's just one lesson and you have a definite question in the past paper. You definitely have a question on fractions. So if you can understand the question well, you're sure to get that 10 marks in the paper itself. So I'm going to work out two questions with you so that you get a better understanding of how fractions work. And later maybe you can try the remaining questions, try at least another 8 questions in fractions to get a better understanding, and then I'm sure you will go for that 10 marks. So when it comes to fractions, I mean, the basic things you should be knowing: how to add fractions, subtract fractions, multiplications, dividing. When you're dividing, you have to remember the KCF method, that is keep, change, flip, right? Not KFC, but keep, change, flip. So KCF there. And also when it comes to finding the LCM, when we have two different denominators, you have to find the lowest common multiple or the LCM and then do the questions. So that type of basic understanding I believe we do have, right? But if we don't, we'll look into the questions and try to figure things out as well. Okay. So when it comes to fractions, you don't really have to go to the first question, read it to get the answer. No. What happens over here is, if you just understand, you read the first part here and note down the things that they're telling clearly, you're good to go with this question. So let's see what we have here. I'm going to work this out here so that I'm going to write things down here so that we have a better understanding of what they're saying. So it says 2/5 of a container is filled with fruit juice, right? So imagine you have a fruit juice, or you have a container filled with fruit juice. So this is my container and this is filled with fruit juice, 2/5 of it. So basically 2/5 would be this is divided into 5 equal parts. Sometimes they may not be very equal, but yeah, it needs to be equal parts. So that's how you have 2/5. So this is 3 and then 4 and 5. So 2/5 basically would be that they are filled up to this section here. There we go. And then what are they telling? Now this section is 2/5. After 700 milliliters of water is also added to this container, 3/4 of the container is filled. So, roughly we can say that 3/4 of the container would be somewhere around this point. So let's say this is the whole thing. So 3/4 would be somewhere around this portion over here, more than half and less than a fourth. So when does that happen? After 700 milliliters of water is also added to this container, 3/4 of the container is filled. So if I'm writing that down, what do I need to write down? So we had 2/5 there, we have 2/5, and then when I add 700 milliliters, now the fraction is becoming 3/4 or 3/4 there, right? That is the data that I've got so far. Now let's look at the first question. What fraction of the capacity of the container is the amount of water that was added? So I need to give the capacity of the container of this 700 milliliters. So if to the fraction 2/5 you're adding 700 milliliters, the fraction changes to 3/4. Now 700 is also equal to 3/4 minus this 2/5, right? So when you subtract 2/5 from the 3/4, you need to get the answer 700 milliliters. So that's exactly what they're asking. They're asking you to give the fraction equivalent to this 700 milliliters. So how do I get that answer? Now we have 3/4 minus 2/5, right? So if I have to write that down separately to show you how exactly we need to do the calculations. So this is where we have 3/4 and minus 2/5. I'm not going to write it together because I want to show you how the subtraction is done. So for better clarity, I'm going to write the fractions exactly that we need to write them. I hope that's clear. So 3/4 minus 2/5. So let me put that minus as well. Okay. So just to recap things, how the subtraction would be done. You have 4 and 5. LCM of 4 and 5 would be 20. So I'm going to write this down and put the LCM as 20. So to find the LCM, you list down the multiples of 4, list down the multiples of 5, and find the multiples or common multiples, and you take the lowest one. So in this case, it's going to be 20 there, because 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. All right, so 4 times 5 gives me 20. So 3 times 5 would give me a 15. So I need to write that 15 down here. And then minus 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 4 would give me 8. So 15 minus 8 over 20. So 15 minus 8 would give me the answer of 7 over 20. So my answer for this part, the first question, would be 7 out of 20, or as a fraction, 700 milliliters is equal to 7 over 20. And then now moving on to the next part, where we say now 4/5 of the fruit drink in the container. Now let's look at it again. 4/5 of the fruit drink in the container is separated out to serve. What fraction of the capacity of the container is this separated amount of drink? So we have the term of here, 4/5 of the fruit drink in the container. Now how much did we have fruit drink in the container? 3/4. So 4/5 of 3/4. Or 3/4. So if I have to write that down, I would write it as 4 over 5 of 3/4. So when you're doing this, remember what you need to do is 4 over 5, you can't cut off the denominators. Let me write them separately so that you have a better understanding and clarity there. 4 over 5 of 3/4. So this is what you have. This is your denominator and your numerator. Let's put the fraction bars, Of basically means multiplication. So you can multiply or you can cut off this 4 and 4, which would give you the answer of 3/5 over there. So what fraction of the capacity of the container is this separated amount of drink? So separated amount of drink would be 3/5. You've taken off 3/5 from the container now. Right, that is your Roman number 2's answer. Third one, the separated amount of drink is poured out equally into 6 glasses. Find the amount of drink in 1 glass in milliliters. Now for that, what you can do is, you know that 7 over 20 is basically equal to 700. So you can find the entire capacity, or you can find that 7 over 20 is equivalent to 700 milliliters. So you can find how much is 3/5 equal to. Now if you take 3/5, this can be written as, if you want to make the denominator same, you can make this denominator 5 times 4 is 20 and 4 times 3 is 12. So basically 12 out of 20 is the amount of juice that you've taken out of the container, right? So if 7 parts is equal to 700, 12 parts would be equal to 1200. You can use the unitary method here. You can find if 7, like imagine you have maybe 7 chocolates equals 700 rupees. So 1 chocolate is 100 rupees. So 12 chocolates would be 100 multiplied by 12, 1200. That's how you get this 1200 milliliters of juice. Remember, this is not your final answer, because they are telling us that this is divided into 6 equal glasses and we need to find the amount of drink in 1 glass. So this 1200 would be divided by 6. So that will give you the answer of 200 milliliters. So you would have 200 milliliters of drink in 1 glass there. Okay, so that's about that question itself. So you see, you've completed 3 parts and you're good to go with it. You've understood each and every step. It's not very difficult exactly to say, but you need to understand what exactly the question wants you to do. What is this term of? What is the term remaining? If you do understand that part, you're good with this question. And the last question, find the amount of fruit drink remaining in the container now in milliliters. So you need to give your answer in milliliters and tell how much of a fruit drink is remaining. So to find how much of fruit drink is remaining, now you had 3/4 and you've used up 3/5 of it. So you have to subtract from 3/4 or 3 over 4, you have to subtract 3 over 5. Oh, sorry, let me put that. 3 over 4 minus 3 over 5. So if I have to write this down, what would I do there? I need to once again get the LCM. Remember, you can't just say 3 minus 3 and put a 0. That's not right. You have to get the LCM, which is 20 once again. So 4 times 5, and then here 5 times 3 is 15. So let's write that 15 minus 5 times 4 and 3 times 4 would give me a 12 there. So 15 minus 12 would give me the answer once again 13, 14, 15. So 3 out of 20. Right, now this is the amount of fruit drink remaining in the container, 3 out of 20. So we did already see that 1 part out of 20 or 1 over 20 was equal to 100 milliliters, because 7 parts was 700. So we did see that 1 part was equal to 100. So 3 over 20 remaining, that means 3 parts is remaining. So that's 300 milliliters of fruit drink remaining in the container. So I hope that question was clear to you and you were able to understand clearly what needs to be done in each of the steps there. So that's about the question in the 2023 O-level paper. Moving on to the 2019. So let me first clear the screen so that we can move to the next question there. Okay, in this question once again, we're going to write down the details that we have very clearly. 7 over 15 of the total length of a drain was dug on the first day. So they're digging a drain and 7 over 15 of the total length was dug on the first day. So I'm just going to write down the data. First day, it was 7 out of 15, so 7 over 15. And the second day, 1/4 of the remaining length was dug. So before you find the second day how much was dug, you need to know how much was remaining after the first day. So remaining after the first day was 7, 8, you have to subtract. So 7 over 15, 7 parts is eaten. How much is remaining? 8 over 15 parts remaining. And out of that, on the second day, 1/4 of 8 over 15. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. 1 over 4 of 8 over 15 was dug. So let's put that. Okay, so how will I simplify this particular question? 1 over 4, so let's put the lines. We can cut this off. 4 times 1, 4 times 2, so that's 2 over 15. Now what is this 2 over 15? What was dug on the second day, right? So on the second day, the amount that was dug was 2 over 15, the fraction. Now let's look at the question. We basically have answered, but let's see what we have. At the end of the first day, what fraction of the total length of the drain remained to be dug? There we go. The first question done, 8 over 15. What fraction of the total length of the drain was dug on the second day? So that's also done. We figured that out as well. Now look at this part. We just wrote down the data clearly and we actually got the answer for the first one and the second one. So that's how you need to solve these questions. Write your data clearly, understand what they are telling so that you're good to go with it. And then moving to the third point, at the end of the first 2 days, a further length of 600 meters of the total length of the drain remained to be dug. Find the total length of the drain. Now to understand this question, after this first day and second day they had completed, there was a remaining of 600 meters. So altogether the drain's length would be 7 over 15 work, 2 over 15 work, and then 600 meters to get the entire thing. So basically if I add 7 over 15 and 2 over 15, same denominator, just add the numerators, we get 9 over 15. Now is that 9 over 15 equivalent to 600? No. What is equivalent to 600 that they are telling us? The amount remaining after the first day and the second day work was done. So which means that is 6 over 15, that is equal to 600 meters. Right? So 6 over 15 is equal to 600 meters and we need to find the total length of the drain. So total length of the drain would be 15 over 15. So if you look at that, the denominators are same. We're good with the question so far. 6 parts is equal to 600 meters, means 1 part is equal to 100 meters. So 15 parts would be 1,500 meters there. Right? So we are good with that 1,500 meters also. The remaining part is, the whole drain is 1,500 meters. Moving on. So we're done with the first 3 questions there. Moving on to the fourth one. Here they've connected the man days question into that, right, where you talk about the proportions. It has been estimated that 4 men will require 3 days to dig the remaining 600 meters of the drain. How many more men need to be engaged to dig this length in 2 days? Now we have 4 men and 3 days. So we need to find how many man days work do we have. So we multiply 4 men by 3 days. So that's 4 times 3, 12. 12 man days work remaining. But what are they telling? They want to dig it in 2 days. So what do? We divide this 12 man days by 2. By 2 days basically. So that gives us the answer of 6 men that are going to work there. Now, are we done with the question? What do you think? So actually, we're not done with the question yet, because what does the question ask us? How many more men need to be engaged to dig this length in 2 days? So more men, altogether there should be 6 men, but we have 4 men. So the more men would be 6 minus 4, that is 2 more men needed to be engaged. This will give you your full marks there, 10 marks, all good there. So you can, I hope I've made it clear to you by doing these 2 questions. I've covered the section of fractions itself, so that it helps you with the upcoming exams. And also what you could do is now take a few more past paper questions, take a few more fraction questions. You can work them out on your own, and do send them to me as well. If you're free, you can, if complete the questions and send them, email them to me, and I will correct them and get back to you on that. So thank you very much for joining in. Have a nice day. Bye.